What up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo of JoJo's Replay, and I am here to tell you about OAT, Official America's Team. It is a platform built for fans, by fans, and it's all about Cowboys Nation, baby. We got so many big-time personalities like yours truly, Tyson Westcoast from Dallas Cowboys Scouting, Silver and Blue Nation headed by Big Game James, and the president and CEO himself, Barry Gibson, the guy that's bringing us all together and making all of this happen. Go subscribe. Go be a supporter. You know it's all about Cowboys Nation and about this chase for number 6, baby. And OAT is the hub to connect us all. So I'm telling you right now, go join. Go subscribe, because here at OAT, baby, we making big moves, because OAT is our business and our business is our swag.
Hey, NFL Combine's away. It's your cast of position predictions on the first day and a recap of the NFL Combine today, because guess what? We had defensive line and linebackers today, and although we'll be talking about offensive linemen coming up this Sunday on position predictions, we wanted to tap in here today as a crew and give you our feedback and a little bit of updates, because we had some interviews here today. We got some status updates on some players, but y'all know I'm BG. This is my girl KELZ on the East Coast. Good evening, KELZ. How are we doing out there?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, how's the weather out there on the East Coast out there with you and Charles?
It was a little bit warm today. It reached like 63, 65, and later on the temps kind of dropped, but it wasn't super cold like it has been for the past couple of weeks.
Okay. Let's welcome my guy Charles, the truth to the show, baby. We know the weather report's still kind of the same out there because you like right next to KELZ, but how you doing this evening, Charles?
Hey, I'm happy to be here. What's up, Cowboy Nation? Just excited and exciting to be part of this combine. You know, every year it just brings excitement and fire, and I think it's a little bit more juice added this year. You know.
Yeah, we got the NFL Combine going on the NFL Network in the background with no sound right now. So if you've been tapping in all day, if you haven't been tapping in, now is the time to tap in with us. We're going to be recapping on day one. Some big things was happening today. We've seen a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of linebackers. That's what the position groups are still going on right now in the background. We did get some updates today. Schottenheimer gave his press release at the Combine today, and my girl KELZ has got some intel for us. Which one of these clips would you like to go over first, KELZ?
Either one is fine. I sent you 5 or 6. I can't remember.
We got quite a few. We got some sound bites here from our head coach. So KELZ working the magic back there on the back end. Let me tap into my Instagram DM. Don't y'all be trying to look and see who I'll be DMing. All right, don't be looking. Let's take a look at this first one here. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer, when asked the latest on D tackle Osa Odighizuwa's contract. Let me know, can y'all hear this?
There's a lot of ongoing conversations. Obviously, Osa has done a terrific job for us. He's a terrific young player. He does everything right. And as those communications keep going, it's never done till it's done. But he's a guy we'd love to have back.
I know you have.
There's a lot of ongoing conversations.
So, yeah, there was some report. I talked about that earlier in the gym today. KELZ, can you give us a little bit more intel on is a deal getting close to being done with our guy Osa Odighizuwa?
So, right now, because the combine is going on, there are agents in Indy for the combine. J. Lou's representation is there. Also, Odighizuwa's, Deron Bland's, and Tanks is the ones that I know that is there. So, as far as Osa and what teams can do across the league is they can only speak to the team's representation. I mean, the players' representation. They cannot have no contract discussions with the players. So as of right now, it's moving, but we won't know if anything is going to be done until March 10th or March 12th. Now, they are looking at a transitional tag. A transitional tag, it's a lot of money.
Is that like a franchise tag? Is it traditional?
It is.
Okay.
A transitional.
What's the difference between franchise and traditional?
Franchise is no play, like no other team can touch you.
Okay.
The transitional is basically the same way, but you do not get the full guaranteed money that a franchise tag will get. So the transitional, so let's say, for example, OSA, if they do the franchise tag, they're going to do the exclusive franchise tag.
Mm-hmm.
That means he will get $24 million a year.
Yep.
If they do the non-exclusive
21.
franchise tag, is 22, maybe
21.
22 million.
Yep.
If they do the
Okay.
transitional tag, he will get 18 million a year.
All right, let me get my guy Charles's input on that real quick out there, because I know y'all been talking. We all three kind of been talking here and there and a little bit of everywhere. Yeah, we're not going to know if any pen is going to hit the paper until March 10th. It looks like anyway, but it's good that we're ahead of this, right? It, is selectively aggressive, meaning we're going to sign our guys. Is that kind of what we're looking at? How you feel about this Osa Odigizua situation, Charles?
I think that it just right now that Stephen Jones reported that they're in contract talks for Osa, which obviously Cowboys, that's a big difference in previous years in the offseason, that we can kind of say that it's very small progress here in Dallas, that we're actually moving in the right direction to sign a guy that's very important to our defense. So I'm super excited to see that. Obviously, we know we can't do it right now, but we've talked about this before, that moving in the right direction and signing our own guys that are important to this defense and to the team itself is very vital and very important before the NFL draft.
All right, let's take a look at this this clip here on Schottenheimer addressing the NFL Combine today or on Media Day, talking about the staff that he was able to assemble. I think let me make sure he says head coach Brian Schottenheimer, when asked for the latest. Now we went over the DT situation. Schottenheimer on how he put together Dallas's new coaching staff.
Yeah, this is something that I've done for a long time, which means spend the off season, the summer. My wife gets mad at me, but tracking coaches. I literally call guys in the business that I know and that I trust, and I'm like, hey, tell me somebody that maybe you think the world of, but that I've never heard of. And, it's such a close-knit fraternity that guys are happy to share good people with good people. I think there's 3 guys maybe that I've worked with before that weren't carryover guys. When you asked me initially how the staff was going to come together, did I think that would be the case? Probably not. But again, the guys that came in, I think we found great teachers. We found guys that were incredible people. And I have a real big belief in fundamentals. And so I think if you look at all the coaches that we've added, both young, old, the ability to train fundamentals and the developmental process of our players is critical.
Coach.
And one last thing, I know for a fact our players are going to feel the passion and energy of this staff. This staff is awesome, just in terms of the energy, the way they want to teach, the way they want to be on the grass. So I can't wait to see us get to work here in a couple months.
Sounds like culture shift 2.0 coming in for the Cowboys. I like what I hear right there, because even the draft whisperer was on record today. And let me just give y'all a real clip, and then we'll get some feedback from KELZ and my guy Charles right quick. Let's take a look at this. I got to get him on Facebook here. Take a look at this clip when Will McClay talking about Brian Schottenheimer today. So if you follow me on Facebook, you follow us on Facebook, you probably seen this. But if not, we're going to replay this for y'all so that way we can get some more context with the content here. Let's tap in to see what the draft whisperer had to say.
You and Brian Schottenheimer have been here for a couple of years now together, but now you're getting to see him in this environment as a head coach. I know it's been early in the week, but what stands out about how he is leading this group and leading this process as the head man in Dallas?
He's very humble but very hungry, and what I mean by that is he assembled a staff of. Most coaches, when they assemble a staff, they got a bunch of their friends and people that they know. He went out to find the best for what he was looking for, ideas and new guys to bring new things and make it his way. So, number one, that's been extremely positive. Number two, the communication. He's going to be confrontational with the communication, but respectful with that, and test your conviction. And he's very, very clear with what he wants and what he wants to do, and getting everybody on the same page.
There it is right there.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let me get your feedback on that right quick, Charles.
A man that's on a mission does not have anything and any doubt in his mind. and in his heart, he already knows where he wants to go with this team. And that's what Shoddy is saying. And he clearly is putting the map in front of us Cowboys fans, and we just got to go one day at a time, and we just got to see the product, and we got to see the action. And we are seeing the action, but it's very slow.
Yeah, I got Sterling's tapping in and says, I like the staff he put together. The first year may be hard, but a winning season. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he got elbow room to go out there and get his own staff. Let me get my girl KELZ's reactions on that a little bit. How do you feel about what the Draft Whisperers had to say about Brian Schottenheimer and the way we're kind of approaching this NFL Combine?
I don't want to sound like I'm a-hole-ish, but that was something that was said when he was first hired, maybe like the first couple of weeks, that this is what he was going to do. And folks was like, we still made so he's doing what he said he was doing. So
yeah, well, we thought he was going to get an assembled staff, but he got to go out there and assemble his staff. Essentially, is that what you mean?
And the thing is, he went out there and did it, and I could tell you right now, I do know, and this is just segueing a little bit to the left. Jerry Jones is speaking tomorrow, but he is not in Indy. He's in Indy, but he is not at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's McClay. I forgot that the guy that was sitting to the right of Steven, like on the corner. But it's Steven and Will McClay.
All right. Well, some news has been surrounding our guy Abdul Carter, who Micah Parsons has been parlaying and promoting for, mentoring out there at Penn State. KELZ, what can you tell us that's going on internally? Any intels on Abdul Carter? Because I know you said earlier he's hot on the draft radar for the Cowboys. Even with this news.
He's not hot.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a misunderstanding then.
Yeah.
And he's obviously not, because why? Is it these injuries? Is that what we're talking about here? Has he got damaged goods?
No. So
because the media is reporting that the Cowboys are going to do this trade with the Tennessee Titans for 2 first-round picks so we can get Abdul Carter and trade away our best guy. But that don't make sense to me, because he's like 2 injuries. Why are we sound like Jerry drafting damaged goods? What can you tell us?
Well, the thing with Abdul Carter, we don't need to do all that craziness because he's going to be draft high anyway. Tennessee is already looking at Abdul Carter going to him, going to them. So I don't know about that, but as far as with Abdul Carter, the foot stressor is something new. The reason why he wasn't participating in the on-field activities and drills was because of a shoulder injury. And he was resting it until his pro day, which is March something. March 21st, March 30 something. It's in March. When they had the medicals today, that's when the foot stressor was
made aware and put down the public.
Was made aware of, and it popped up.
Okay.
Earlier he may have the possibility of him having surgery was very high, but they did a second opinion and he does not require the surgery. So that just came out this evening.
Okay.
So he's still going to continue with the pro day, because if he were to have the surgery, that will cancel out his pro day. However, it does not decline his draft capital.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that squared up, because the media is running with this. Everybody knows Micah's name been attached. Obviously, same college, they went together. Let me get my guy Charles up here, because he hit me on the head today, man. Look, he said, hey, man, the Cowboys looking to trade 2 first-round picks. We trade Micah to Tennessee so we can draft up, get 2 first-round picks so we can get Abdul Carter. But you heard my girl KELZ at the intels. No intels coming out of the Star that we looking to trade for an Abdul Carter. So with that being said, what's your thoughts on it, Charles?
Nah, it's not good for Dallas.
Yeah.
It sounds sexy, BG. We talked about it, but like you said, you sleep on it, you think about it, and you do the X and O's of the team, whatever. It's not what's best for the team right now. And especially Micah Parsons is the heart of our defense, and he's a leader. And, even though he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, you can't replace a Micah Parsons, man. You just can't. And
Yeah.
that kid has not shown anything in the NFL yet. He's only been in college, and we don't know what he could do. And you don't know. That's like you said. We don't need damaged goods in Dallas. We just don't.
Yeah, great segue, because here's my thing. No more damaged goods. First of all, no more Michigan players and no drafting damaged goods.
Correct.
We need 6 or 7 of these draft picks coming up. You know, we got the defense.
I wouldn't say it's damaged good, because a foot stressor is not as crucial as the foot injury that Deron Bland had.
True. At the same time, it's just when you're going into a combine and the kid's got some kind of injury.
That's why they do these medical. That's why they do these medical exams at the combine.
It just brings red flags, man. You know, if I'm drafting a kid, I want him to be clean. I don't want no issues.
I'm the same way, especially where we're at right now.
Write you a checkbook for $20 million, boy, and you got an injury? Nah, get out of here.
I mean, especially where we're at right now. Like, okay, yeah, maybe Abdul is not damaged goods, but y'all get my point. Right. We can't draft nobody like a Jalen Smith where we got to wait a year for somebody to play. We need players now to come off the board that can contribute here. And I want to talk about some of those players here today as I get the combine footage back up. KELZ, what caught your eye today? Sorry. KELZ, what caught your eye today at the combine? Did any one particular player stick out for you?
Well, the ones I've been looking at are the ones that is on Flus's draft board, because he is drafting a 3-tech defense, and he's also looking at linebackers in secondary that will complement the 3-tech defense. Mm-hmm. So they've had interviews with those linebackers and cornerbacks that complement the 3-tech defense yesterday and today. One thing I did notice is Lucas Oil needed to do something with that field, because a lot of those D linemen was slipping all over the place on that wave drill.
Yeah. There were a lot of people slipping and busting their ass today at the drills.
And I can understand if it's one, but like they split the D line up, because like I said before, this draft is heavily saturated with D linemen, and they had to split the D line groups up. So the first ones they did the 40-40, and then they did the on-field drills and workouts, and then they brought the second group of D linemen, and in both groups, when it came to that wave drill and the 4-bag drill, they were slipping and sliding. So they need to figure out something, especially tomorrow. I know they have the defensive backs and the tight ends, but when it get to the day 3, when the quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers hit the field, they better figure something out.
Yeah, because it's only going to take somebody to slip and get an injury, and then they can't make the league, and they ain't getting no check, if you know what I mean. But I did discover a new tool today while watching the NFL Combine, and it's this Combine Stat Tracker, I believe. What do they call it? The Combine, the Combine Tracker on NFL.com. You can take a look at all of the next-gen stats from all of the players in the Combine. 300 players that are in the Combine, you can track them. So I've already shared this with everybody on Patreon. So shout out to all of the Patreon supporters here today, because, you know, all the Patreon supporters going to our show position predictions that we got coming up. We got a competition coming up where you're going to have to be able to predict the amount of positions the Cowboys are going to draft and how many. And so what can you tell us about Rico Dowdle? I was also excited to hear about Rico Dowdle contract talks along with Osa and with Jordan Lewis. We heard that today because I told y'all initially on the first episode, I think if Rico takes his services to another team, I think we draft at least 2 running backs. This running back draft class is deep. We're going to take a look at that here on another mock NFL simulator. Thanks to Charles introducing us to that tool. But yeah, I mean, defensive linemen and linebackers today. I mean, we've got another 3 days, and lining up on Sunday, I'm absolutely excited because we're going to be talking about offensive linemen on Sunday, and offensive linemen will be participating. So hopefully we'll have some live coverage on that. But I'm going to get this tool back up here so that way y'all can check it out. But next gen stats on NFL.com, go to the Combine Tracker. I've already placed that there. You can take a look at each position. You can take a look at the live results from today's action, look at top performers. You know, they got it all. This is like they're gonna put StatMuse out of business because y'all know I like StatMuse, StatMuse.com, right? But now the NFL's got next gen stats and all of this stuff where you can track that real time at the combine. But I want to hear from my girl KELZ on Rico. Is it looking like we're gonna keep Rico in house? Contrary to, according to the public opinion that's out there right now, that along with Osa, we might retain Rico and Jordan Lewis.
We'll see on March 10th what the Cowboys are offering.
I mean, does it help that Stephen Jones is out here telling us that, hey, we like this, we want to sign Rico? He had his greatest season.
I mean, it's good that they are talking. However, March 10th at 4 p.m., when that contract is slid to the other side, that's when we know.
Right. I hear you. 100%. Charles, who stuck out to you today? I know you was watching all the defensive linemen and the linebackers like I was today too as well. What stood out to you today or what you've seen on film?
First, I want to nickel back on what KELZ was saying. A lot of those players on that field, man, they definitely got to do something about that field. Those guys were slipping and falling left and right. But first day, the guys definitely showed up and showed out today. It was a great day. For me, two players, like you said, that really stuck out for me, and obviously there are 3 tech guys on our board, was Mykel Williams and Alfred Collins from Texas. Those are 2 boys that I really got my eye really on. I like them a lot, and I think they'd be a great fit in Dallas. If we get a chance to pick them, it would be nice to have them in Dallas. And I told you that's my guy, Mykel Williams from Ohio State. He's a beast. He's huge.
You talking about Tyleik Williams?
Mykel Williams.
Mykel
Williams.
Oh, Mykel. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to show a clip to everybody, I mean, he's big. He's a big guy. He would definitely be nice to have him right there.
Is he D-line?
D-line, yeah, defensive line.
Yeah. Well, we're covering offensive linemen. I didn't want to get too far in the trenches today on the defensive side of the ball because we got offensive line this week on position predictions, and then the following 3 Sundays after that, we're going to go defensive line, linebacker, and the defensive backs. We're going to have 3 weeks in a row. That's going to be right when free agency opens because, free agency is going to kick off March 10th. The tampering window opens, and then, like KELZ said, we're going to see if this credit is going to hold good with the Cowboys front office coming out talking about these folks on these contracts. Because can you go over that tag one more time for everybody so everybody understands right quick, KELZ? The transitional tag. So there's 3 different types of franchise tags. Do I understand you correctly?
Yeah, there's 3 different type of tags. You have 2. You have 2 different type of tags. You have the franchise tag and the transitional tag. The franchise tag has a different part. You have the exclusive and the non-exclusive tag. And then the transitional tag works the same way as the franchise tag, but it's less money off of the cap. It's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still a lot, but it's not.
So it sounds like we're going to tag essentially Osa if the deal gets done. Is that transitional tag on Osa? Is that what we're looking at?
And honestly, I don't know, because if they're talking about working a deal, then that's not even using the franchise tag. So we don't know who the franchise tag is going to go on now. If they're talking about a deal. And I know it's not our team, but Kansas City is the first one to come out with a franchise tag, and that was today.
Yep.
Yeah. Who they franchise tag?
Smith, their offensive tackle.
Okay. So does every team have to get involved with the tag? How does that work? Or I keep hitting the wrong one. Is that optional for us to use this tag in these situations? Can you break that down a little bit further? We're not going to see every team use a franchise tag unless they have to, right?
No, they only have unless they have to, especially if it's a good, valuable player that is on their team that is approaching free agency. I think the Cowboys, maybe 1 or 2 occasions that they have not used the franchise tag, but recently they have exercised the franchise tag.
Okay. All right, Charles, any thoughts on the tagging, the transitional tags, or anything like that? You got anything to add to that before we jump on into this mock simulator? We'll take a look at it.
We've talked about this before. Any way they can save $1, they're gonna exercise that option, obviously, because we need more money to be able to sign free agents. And however we get them, if we re-sign them or we tag them, He's a key player. But for me, hearing Stephen Jones publicly coming out and speaking that he wants to re-sign him, for me personally, I think that's a big step moving forward. Because before, guys, Jerry comes out and does his normal routine. Stephen says, "Oh,
Jerry's
we're
not
all
at the combine though. We ain't heard from Jerry. Ain't
right."
that
We ain't
kind of
heard
new?
from Jerry.
No,
He's been
he's
quiet.
there.
Oh, he's there.
He's there, but he's
there,
quiet.
but he wasn't at the stadium today.
So these are all changes that we're seeing here in Dallas, and I hope everybody's paying attention to that because things are moving in a different direction for our Cowboys, and I like everything we're seeing so far. So we'll see, like KELZ said, we'll see come March 10th what they bring to the table.
Yeah, the first 48, you got to stay tuned for that. Do I got any first 48 fans out there? That's right. The Dallas Cowboys first 48 in Frisco is going to matter because how we draft is going to be predicated based on this free agency. We got 22 free agents. Is that right, Kels?
22 unrestricted or restricted free agents.
22 free agents. That's a lot. And we know we're not going to re-sign them all. But it was good to hear that they're being selectively aggressive. If that's the case, getting in front of Osa, Rico, and also Jay Lou there. So let's get into this mock draft simulator. Again, I shared this with my guys on page.
You should say the first 72 hours because the Cowboys is known to drop a free agent if they do by the third day.
See, we're gonna put that pressure. We're gonna put that pressure on their ass this year and let them know we paying attention, baby.
We got their eyes on them like a hawk.
Yeah, we paying attention. That all-in shit that prepared us for this season, we ain't ready for that all-in 2.0. We're gonna peel it back a little bit. But I feel you. First 72, yeah, sounds about like them. But first 48, I'm a fan of first 48.
I give them 72.
Yeah, okay. KELZ got 72. I got 48. How many hours you got, Charles?
I got 48 on them, man. I ain't got
first 48 too. Okay.
I ain't got no pages, baby girl. I ain't got no pages on them this year. Sorry.
All right.
I'm just looking at habits and everything.
I know. 48.
Right. I just hope we don't draft, as long as we don't draft no damaged goods and reach low. Thankfully to my guy, Charles, he explained to me about reaching too low in the draft. And so we're going to take a look at that on offensive linemen for the primer here today. Anything you want to add to that, Charles?
Make that a point. Yeah, make that a point to everybody. Let's go back last year. What do we do with Mozzie Smith, guys? Mozzie Smith was not a first round rated player. And what did Dallas do? They reached down low and picked him at the 29th pick. He should have went in the second, maybe third round, and that was not on our board. So we can't do that again this year. We have to pick to the players that are on the board where the players are rated. Because if you go too low or you go too high, you just can't do it.
Well, we'll give them an example. We can show them better than we can tell them.
I don't know about Mozzie's being that low. I know he was supposed to be like
I'll send you the stat.
I understand the stats, but when the NFL analysis that's on the draft committee, when they were doing their mock drafts and everything, Mozzie Smith was like a low first round, early second round, because he was a prospect. The thing is, Dan Quinn wanted him to drop weight. In that in that nose tackle position, that was not a position for him to drop weight.
That sounds like some bullshit off the gate.
He was the size. He was the size that he was supposed to be.
I think wasn't Dan Quinn like a Herbalife executive? Wasn't he selling everybody in Dallas Herbalife over there? I think it had Mozzie Smith on that Herbalife. But we're going to give y'all an example of reaching too low. So getting a draft grade. Last year, Will McClay was graded C+ based on his draft grade because obviously, if we got guys like Mozzie, Charles, thanks for reaching too low. We'll give you an example. We'll let the draft start out here, and then we'll take a look at what does reaching too low mean as we kick off. So here we go. The draft is underway. Let's hope Ginty goes off the board. Yep, boom, he's gone. So Ginty is off the board. We're going to reject all the trades. Again, this is mockdraftsimulator.com. The link is in the comments.
All right. BG, show them right off the top what reaching low means. Show them what I showed.
Okay, so BPA. So BPA, we got pick 12, BPA right now. If you take a look at Teteroa McMillan, his number is 7. Pay attention to this little number over here, 7 and 12. As long as this number is lower than that number, you're going to get around an A or an A+. But the lower or the higher this number is, say if we go draft a guy like Shamar Stewart at 19, they're going to be like, man, y'all reaching like a mug. Right. Why'd you do that? That ain't even the BPA, the best player available. So let's take a look at running back. We knew Ashton Ginty was gone already. Look at that. Trayvon Henderson's there. Caleb Johnson. KELZ's guy, Dylan Sampson is there. Your guy, Charles Skate Boo, is still there. But let's take a look at all. Let's just grab Teterow and McMillan, and then we'll go first round, and then we'll go into the second round. I'll give you an example of reaching. You see that A+ right there, because that number was lower than this number on the side. It gives you a overall grade here. So when you do these mock drafts, you want to pay attention to this to see the kind of quality. You don't want to be reaching in the draft too low, as my guy Charles explained. And so just to give you an example of that, you take a look at 44 here. See, look at all these players that are available, BPA. But say, you know, the Cowboys want to get a wild hair up their ass because they say we need this offensive lineman to block for the running back we got, right?
Yeah,
so you go and take a look at offensive tackles.
It's my boy Erosy.
Erosy, yeah, but 41 below 44, so that would be a good pick. But let's just say, is there anybody else down there on this list that the Cowboys got on their draft board? Did y'all see? No?
No.
How about let's go to edges? Y'all see any edges on there? Ashton Gillette, ain't he on there?
No.
No? Look at the D-line. Jordan Phillips, Maryland.
Jordan Phillips is on there.
Okay, so Jordan is on our draft board. So say this is wild, but just to give you an example, this is 44 here, but take a look at Jordan Phillips at 103. Say the Cowboys went and got him. Look at that grade.
I'm still looking. Hold on.
A C, because we reached too low. So that is an example of reaching too low on the draft. I explained this in full detail on my Patreon a video today that's already posted. So special shout out to everybody supporting the Patreon. I shared those links in there too on the Patreon. I think that's important for everybody to know, because this draft class is deep at running back and wide receiver, but we don't never want to reach too low for a position because we're paying attention to that draft grade, right, Charles?
Absolutely. You don't want to draft too low, draft too high. Stay on your board, stay the players that are on our board. And come draft day, as Cowboys fans, keep it in mind, have an open mind as well, whatever. And that's what Dallas should be doing, is staying close to the numbers and close to the player ratings as we possibly can to our board, and not going too low and too high, so that we draft the best player at that number pick that we have as possible.
Yep. So again, you see first pick at 12, Teterow's number was below the number 12. I think he was at 7. When we drafted him, we got an A+. Jordan Phillips, we reached way for him. We got a C because he was way down there, 100 and something. But you pay attention to this number there. So there's your tool, how to use the tool there today. And I think that's going to be important for you to know.
We speak about to the fans too, whatever. They're probably wondering what we talked about to all the draft similar guys, where you're getting your stats. These stats are rated from ESPN, which is the most reliable source, in fantasy football and all the stats and all. So trust me, it's just a simulator. It could be off a little bit, guys, whatever, but ESPN is a very reliable source, and I trust that.
And see, with that, you can also pair that with the tool like I showed y'all here today on NFL.com. I still got it up. You take a look at the mock what do I want to say here? Where'd that page go? You want to go to the combine tracker, right? So you go to the combine here, go to NFL.com and visit that combine tracker right here. Go to combine tracker also, so you can compare. So if I got all my nerds that are out there really looking at these stats, looking at these numbers, looking at players like that, you can go to next gen stats, NFL.com. You can gauge it against Mock Simulator. But like Charles said, Mock Simulator, the Draft Mock Simulator is a legit tool. Draft Mock Simulator is a legit tool, so we can recommend you use it. Those are the two tools that we'll be using moving forward here, especially as we wrap up the NFL Combine. But we wanted to tap in today, especially give you a quick recap and let you know we're paying attention to the D-line and the linebackers. I know my girl KELZ is on the job. I think we got some more videos here from Shotty. Let's get another video clip from Shotty. Brian Schottenheimer on Brian Schottenheimer on what he wants at running back on the offensive line. It sounds like Cooper Beebe is staying at center. Great segue for our show coming up on Sunday. Let's take a look at this clip right quick.
You want a guy that's got vision. You want a guy that has contact balance. The fronts that we're seeing, the fronts that we're facing require guys to be able to make hidden yards, whether there's a free safety in the hole or there's a linebacker or a defensive lineman coming off at the point of attack. You got to have a guy that's willing to run through arm tackles. I do believe that you have to have the ability to catch the ball coming out of the backfield. Why do I say that? if a team wants to commit to stopping the run, there's ways that they can try to do that. And we don't want that to take an elite runner or a position like that out of the game. So if a team's doing a nice job stopping the running game, you want to be able to get them involved, throwing it to them. And that doesn't mean they have to play like a receiver, but they have to be able to run routes coming out of the backfield and have the ability to separate and run after the catch is important. Offensive lines, it's different. It's based on whether you're talking about the interior guys, centers, guards are a little bit different. Tackles are a little bit different. But the thing that I'm interested in watching is the development of a couple of the second-year players. You watch Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, those guys. Tyler Guyton's been in the weight room every day. He's working his ass off. And to me, that's really exciting. But I think the influence of Clayton, the influence of Connor Riley, I think that package was so important for us. And I think we hit a home run.
Think we hit a home run on that, right? KELZ, talk to us. What is Shotty talking about right there? Are we getting ready to draft Ashton Jeanty? Is that what that look like? Is we need a running back? I mean, Rico catches passes out the backfield, right?
He do, but he's a scat back. He's not a back.
Yeah, because I know we were in the chat earlier today when I was live earlier in the gym this morning. You said that even if we do keep Rico, the Dallas Cowboys plan to draft a bowling ball or a bruiser in that backfield. Could you give us any kind of names, drip us on any kind of names that might fit that according to what Shotty's talking about?
Caleb Johnson from Iowa.
Caleb Johnson from Iowa, huh? Any names pop up for you, Charles, when you hear Shotty talking about running backs catching passes out of the backfield?
I can go as low as pick 200. Sleeper of the draft. Kyle Manungai, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's right. KELZ did give me his name, and we were looking. He's fallen deep in some of these mock drafts. So
I like that underdog, because he's got something to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. The thing with Kyle is he a power back?
He is. He's 5'10". He's a power back.
Troy Park says Iowa. Love that kid. Which one is he talking about?
Oh yeah, Johnson from Iowa. He's a beast. Yeah.
Well, we got these offensive linemen coming up on Sunday, y'all. And I know my girl KELZ is wrecking her brain over there. You can see her. She's diving into stuff. She's still going to be working late. It's late over there right now. I think it's 10:30, 10:40 almost. It's almost 11 o'clock over there.
It's 10:40 on the East Coast here.
On the East Coast, it's only 7:40 on the West Coast. It's prime time here, but your folks are working over there, and we wanted to tap in with y'all today and give y'all a little bit of insight on what we've seen from the Combine recap day one, because you want to stay tuned for the outro video, because Will McClay, he dropped a deuce. You have to pay attention to that one, if you know what I mean. I caught a little interview today, so if you didn't catch that, you'll catch it on the way out. But I'm excited. NFL Combine is still going through tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And then, like I said, Sunday, offensive linemen will be on the ticket. We will be covering offensive linemen, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. That's going to be 7 p.m. on the East Coast, where my girl KELZ and Charles is at out there. And, any parting thoughts before we get out of here, Charles, KELZ?
Next year I plan to be at Combine. It's a free event.
Yeah, that would be dope.
I plan to be there. I want
because I don't think I've seen any influencers or any media outside the regular media, like folks like us on social media. I don't think I've seen nobody at the Combine like that. You might be the first, KELZ.
Let's go, KELZ. Let's go.
No, you know what? Last year it was a lot of people there. It was a lot of people at Combine.
Because I do know you're going to be at the CSA shows. So let's give you a quick plug before we get out of here on the CSA shows, KELZ. That's going down April 5th, right?
Yeah.
Any new dates on the CSA shows?
No new names so far. They're going to be adding them all the way up until maybe the last week in March.
And I think both you and Charles, y'all going to be out there together, right? Kicking it. That's going to be nice. Getting some good content out there.
Yep, some of my fan club members going to be there. I think Mark Holmes is going to be there as well.
Oh, wow. Cowboy Joe Boo in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, we appreciate everybody tapping in with us here today. Charles, any part word before we get out of here today on the Combine? Anything else we missed?
No, I think we covered everything, BG.
I think we squashed the don't believe the bullshit. The Dallas Cowboys are trading Micah Parsons to the Tennessee Titans. We know John Bonefacil went down there. We know Turpin. I mean, they might as well just attach the whole team and send them to Tennessee if that's the case. But don't believe the hype out there, especially on Abdul Carter. And you know, my girl KELZ here just told us Abdul Carter is not on anybody's radar at the Star like that, right?
Not as a high pick, no.
There you go. You heard it from here first, especially on defensive linemen and linebackers. That's my girl KELZ. That's my guy Charles down there. We'll see y'all Sunday on the next episode.
See you Sunday.
Last one here for you, and I'm sure this is one that you get every year when you come to the Combine. Is there a moment in one of these interviews that stands out to you, and what is it about those kinds of moments that stand out when it comes to certain prospects?
You're meeting people that they've, especially nowadays, it's very interesting to hear how much some of these guys are getting paid in NIL, and it's very interesting. But an interesting one that happened today. We had a player that come in that, and it's speed dating, so they get to go around. They have to go around, and it's 20 minutes, and they don't have a lot of bathroom breaks. Well, he was coming from the other side of the building and came around to ours, and he said, I really got to go to the bathroom. And he was already late for our meeting, and he sat down. He said, let's do this, and then he had to get up and go to the bathroom. So every year is a unique experience somewhere.